Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Hi, and welcome to the Ruby Tuesday. My name is Ruben.
And I'm Kay.
And today we are reviewing the next Terminator, Terminator 74. No, Terminator Dark Fate.
Yeah.
Terminator Dark Fate is a nostalgic Terminator that feels like a real Terminator film.
Yeah. It feels like they just forgot about all the other ones and just went Terminator 1, Terminator 2, Terminator Dark Fate.
Yeah. And many people I know don't like Terminator 3 because there's some really cheesy bits in that. I am one of the few people in the known universe that doesn't mind the offshoot Terminators after Terminator 1 and 2. I don't think they're brilliant, but I think they're just fun to watch. There are moments in each of the Terminator Genesis, Salvation, and Terminator 3 even. There are moments in those that I was like, oh yeah, this reminds me of Terminator. I like what they did there. But at no point can we say that they're brilliant films.
No.
No. However, this is the best of what we've had after Terminator 2.
Yes.
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 Okay.
And it was really exciting for me. There was a moment, not shortly after it started, like I guess about 25 minutes in, where I tried to lean over to Ruben in the cinema and say, it's just like Terminator 2, except he couldn't hear me because it was so loud.
Very loud. Yes.
Yeah.
So the story isn't unique because it's Terminator. It does what it says on the tin. Two guys come from the future, or not guys in this case. You'll see in the trailer if you'll know who's coming. There's a Terminator coming to kill a protagonist that's going to save the future, and so both parties send someone back or something back to stop it or create it, and that is the Terminator
premise,
series in a nutshell. It's always been that. What I really like about this film is that it takes the best bits of Terminator 1, Terminator 2, and it feels like it mashes them together. Mm-hmm. I don't think it always hits the mark, but it's really fun to watch.
It is. It's so nostalgic. It's like, I mean, it really is just like being able to watch Terminator 2 for the first time again, kind of. I mean, it's, okay, it's not as good. But you're never going to have that same sense of reveal. You know, the first time you saw that liquid Terminator in Terminator 2 was like, oh my gosh, what, that was like amazing. So I know we've come a really long way since then, and obviously our special effects have massively improved since then. But also in terms of our thinking of what's possible, potentially in the future, has also changed. Yeah. So we're not that easily shocked anymore, I think.
That's true.
So, barring aliens turning up from the future, we weren't really going to be surprised by anything that this new Terminator could do.
Yeah.
Where
I think it really worked is that they played on the nostalgia, but it's a 15 this time round.
Yeah.
So it's not for everyone. It is more an adult Terminator, and that's what it always was. When James Cameron dreamt this, it was more of a nightmare. Yeah. And so when he came out with this potential film way back when, that was the nightmare, and we all felt that.
Yeah.
And then what makes Terminator good is you need to get that sense of dread. Dread?
Dread.
That's not a word. Dread. It's
good word.
Unrelenting robot that won't stop because it doesn't get tired, it doesn't get hungry, and you as a human have to somehow be able to survive that. And there are moments in this where you get that.
Yeah.
It's unrelenting. It changes. It just adapts immediately.
Yeah.
Say the Terminator or the enemy that you're fighting, adapts like that, and you're like, oh gosh, how are they going to survive that? Yeah. And that's what Terminator 1 and 2 did for me.
Exactly.
One of my favorite reviewers or critics, I guess, Mark Kermode, mentioned that Terminator 1 and 2 is what Aliens 1 and 2 was. So you had the horror, you had the action, but they were the best. And then subsequent episodes or films were never going to be, as you were talking about, like the reveal. But I think this does something that's quite unique as well. It pulls on those threads, but then it adds that nostalgia because it's been long enough now.
Yeah.
And so now we have Gosh, I'm going to learn to speak. Linda Hamilton and Arnie together. And there's moments in this film where you see them together. They're fighting, you know it's coming, you know it's building up, but when you see them on screen, it is like seeing friends together again. You're like,
Yeah, I thought the opening of the film was really good. So they played the clip from the mental hospital where Sarah Connor is, you know, talking about Judgment Day and what's going to happen. And it was so lovely to just, you're sitting in the cinema, you're wondering, like, is this going to be good? Is this, like, have they decided to include some of the what do you call it, canon?
Yeah.
The canon from all the other films, or is it just going to go like T1, T2, and then this film? And it kind of answers that question right in the beginning, where it's like, okay, so we're going from T2, and that really put me at ease, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I really liked about the first two. They have that the intro always interviews, shows you what the universe is going to be. They have that intro, it sets up, and I feel like that speech is so iconic, so it sets up this whole film, the whole kind of where we've gotten up to now, even though we've had those other films, and even the Sarah Connor Chronicles, which is great, and I think James Cameron even likes those. He prefers those to some of the films, I believe he said in a few interviews. And he isn't helming this, but he's been part of the writing crew. So there's been a lot of writers on this film. He is a producer on this, so you can feel his hand almost as bringing it back to what it originally was. And no ways is this film brilliant. No. And we can't say it's on par with Terminator 1 or 2. And I'm still thinking that this is going to be Marmite. And those diehard fans are going to be like, this is crap. We can't make good films anymore. But actually, I really enjoyed this. And I'm a huge Terminator fan.
Yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed it as well. And it was really funny because we came out of the cinema and neither of us said a word. We came out of the cinema, we got to the car, we got in the car, and I just said, are we not going to talk about this?
I think we were too scared because we were like...
I enjoyed it, but I don't know if he enjoyed it.
But if he didn't enjoy it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
And we both did. And that was like, oh yeah. So that was actually fairly good. A friend of mine who's a critic, because I have so many film critics, he said, yeah, it's good. It's not crap, but it's good.
Yeah.
So I think most people are tired of this franchise. They're tired of being let down.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that most people will watch this film and go, hang on a minute, that wasn't half bad.
Yeah.
I think they did what they could with what they had. There will be
yes.
There will be some people that go, okay, because of where we are at in society right now, this is woke society. We've got female protagonists up the wazoo, and it's the females that are winning. And I'm like, and? Isn't it about time? Yeah. Wasn't Linda Hamilton always the series protagonist?
Yeah.
Yeah, wasn't she the heroine?
I thought so.
Yeah, she's Sarah badass, Connor. Like Sigourney Weaver in Aliens.
Yeah, absolutely. Ripley.
I think it's excellent. No point was I offended as a man. When I saw Arnie, I was like, yeah, Arnie! Although he does come across really old. It's old Terminator.
Oh, he's lovely.
You just want to hug
him.
him.
So lovely in this film.
Protect the Terminator. That's how you feel. Which is weird. They've really humanized him.
Yeah. Which I thought was really clever, actually.
Yeah. Let's talk about, quickly, before we finish up this review, there's one thing we need to talk about, and that is the de-aging, but not de-aging.
Yes.
So we can't really talk about who.
No.
But we can talk about how good.
There is a scene that takes place in the past that has characters in it that don't look like that anymore. And at no point did I sit there in the cinema and go, that looks like CGI. It totally looked real. So I was very impressed.
There's been quite a few films recently where they have used de-aging technology or completely recreated from scratch, and it's not been 100%.
Yeah.
You can see, it. The technology is good, and it's so much better from what we've ever had. But this was different. This was very clever.
Yeah, it was like they'd actually filmed those people 20 years ago. Yeah. Like, whoa, okay. Very good.
I mean, we could go into some of the characters of like Linda Hamilton, how she plays this just broken woman who's been fighting Terminators all her life. She really carries that again. The weight of her on screen is amazing. I thought the female protagonists were really good as well. Yeah. And what they did with the storyline, I thought was excellent. The score was fantastic. It had that beat, but wasn't overbearing, and it came in when it needed to.
Yeah.
It was so good.
It was good.
I thought the direction was great, and at the end of the day, it's a Terminator film. So don't expect Oscar-worthy story. Expect escapism eating popcorn. You know.
Absolutely. Get your snacks and enjoy. And maybe leave your intellectual cap at home.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I really enjoyed it. Yeah,
I enjoyed it too.
I'm not going to rate it because it's.
I don't think it's rateable.
It's too easy to pull apart if you wanted to.
Yeah, you can enjoy it if you want to, and you can hate it if you want to.
Yeah.
It's totally your choice, I think.
Yeah. Well, those are our thoughts about the new Terminator film. Let us know in the comments below what you think about that. And thanks so much for watching our rambles. But most of all, until next time, remember...
Live long and Tuesday.